For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we're back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, a brother-sister duo. We have Juna and Joey. How's it going today, y'all?
Good. Great. How you doing?
Doing good.
Doing pretty good. You know, it's starting to warm up here a little bit, and hopefully it stays warm. But, you know, it's still February, so who knows? Who knows?
I am not used to cold.
Oh, no.
Well, you guys are from West Palm, so, I mean, it all just kind of makes sense. Like, I mean, I'm sure it gets a little cold every once in a while, but nothing like what you're experiencing in Nashville right now. So
there's no seasons in Florida. It's the same old hot.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm really excited to sit down and chat with you. If I'm not mistaken, I think we were supposed to talk a while back, but I was going through some stuff, and so we ended up having to reschedule. But I'm really excited that we were able to get you back on the schedule. So for everyone that's just meeting you for the first time, all our followers and people that are listening, what's kind of your introduction to music? Let's start there.
So I kind of started at a super young age, like 3 or 4. I was doing classical vocals and piano with one of my first teachers at the time. And then I would do like showcases every, I think, few months. We'd learn a song and then perform it at a showcase. And then that's kind of when Joey came into the picture.
Yeah, I was actually a sports guy. I played basketball, baseball, football, soccer, you name it. I had no intentions of doing music whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then one day I went to one of my sister's lessons and the teacher was like, "Hey, can you sing?" And I was like, "Nah, it's not my thing. You know, I don't know how to sing. Like, it's not in me. I don't have it." Yeah. And then all of a sudden I started doing lessons and started picking up the guitar, started writing songs, and that's just where it came. That's just how it started.
Nice. So you just kind of picked it up one day and never really stopped, Joey?
Pretty much. Yeah, I still miss the basketball and baseball, but music is definitely my niche, my thing.
Gotcha. Was there any indicators early on, like were your parents introducing you to music, or how did you originally, I guess this is more for Juna, how did you kind of get the the itch to start playing and whatnot?
Well, actually, both of my parents' grandparents did music. My dad's dad was an opera singer in Italy, and my mom's dad was in a country band, and he played anything with strings, so he was really musically inclined. But it was when I learned the song Love from the movie The Little Rascals. I used to love that movie. I'd watch it like 10 times a day. Nice. And I learned the song like Love by Frank Sinatra. Yeah. And I sang it and I performed it for my dad on our coffee table with my princess dress on and my high heels. Were like 10 sizes too big for me. And I performed it for him and he was like crying. He was like, "We have to get her lessons." And when I actually learned the song, it was funny because I made like a little choreography dance like with my dad. And every time we go to a restaurant, I was like, I don't know, 4. I was super young. And every time we go to a restaurant, he'd be like, "All right, sing that song. And then I'd like do a little performance at like every place we went to. And so, yeah, that's kind of when I got it started into music because my dad, like, I sang for him and he was like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah. So then, yeah, that's when I started taking lessons and doing classical music.
Awesome. And then Joey, you kind of at some point during the lesson taking process, you kind of got introduced to it all. At what point did you guys start playing together and uploading to YouTube? Because that's kind of where you got your start, correct? Was uploading to YouTube and whatnot?
Yeah, we actually started as a rock band. We did this thing called School of Rock, where a whole bunch of kids get together. They give you a certain instrument. Like somebody does vocals, somebody plays the guitar, somebody plays the piano. And then you basically learn over a period of time, a couple of songs, and you perform for different venues and stuff like that. And then eventually we weren't really feeling the School of Rock, decided to actually make our own rock band. Was playing Led Zeppelin, all sorts of things. And we did that for a couple of years, and it was scary.
We were
And
like
then
so young,
yeah.
like playing classic, like hard rock music.
Yeah.
And it was, my dad loved it because he's from New York, so he loves all like the classic rock stuff.
Yeah, I got you.
And then we decided to split off from that and just do country pop. So right now we're doing like modern country. That's like our genre. Our genre. So.
Yeah.
And my mom always listened to country music growing up. But I guess we kind of had to like sift through some genres to be able to like find country and modern country as like what we want to be in and the place that we want to, you know, pursue this career in.
Gotcha. You know, it's funny because I never knew how big of an influence the School of Rock was outside of just the movie. Like I didn't until I started doing this podcast. I didn't realize like it was an actual school that started up after this, like the movie came out, and like now we're getting to that point where musicians are coming out of the School of Rock and like actually doing something with their career. So it's that weird thing because that movie came out. Was it like 20 years ago? Maybe not that much.
2000, somewhere around there.
Yeah, something like that. And it's just kind of like, oh, this is really interesting that, you know, now we're getting to that point where they had the schools come out afterwards, and now we're getting kids coming out of the school programs and actually doing something with their music career. So,
yep.
So you went through that program. How was that program? I don't think I've ever asked anybody that's actually done the School of Rock program.
It was pretty nice. I learned a bunch of instruments, met a bunch of new kids, learned a lot, you know, with performing, like how to, like what to say on stage, like how to like play the drums. I played the drums for like a little bit, and the bass. I learned a whole bunch of instruments, so I learned a lot from it.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting because like they would switch you around on a bunch of different like. I played bass one week and guitar the next week or whatever that might have been. Yeah. And like I knew that I wasn't going to be like a drummer or like a bass player, like, you know, in like life. So I was like learning these instruments. I definitely was not the best at it because like we just had to kind of pick it up and like work with it and like practice it to be able to perform like at these shows and stuff. So yeah, it was nice though to be able to like experiment in different instruments that you normally may not be like do if you were just hanging around.
Was there any instrument that you picked up during this whole program that kind of stuck with you that maybe someday down the line you'll kind of pick back up because you kind of liked how it felt or whatever?
I'm sticking with the guitar. It's like my main instrument. I also know piano. That's another one. And then I have a sax that I play. That's kind of still new, but I still play it. And I really like the drums. I like the sound of, you know, I could beatbox too. So it's kind of cool, like to learn the drums.
Awesome. And so then you broke away from that program, started your own, like essentially a cover band, right? You didn't really do any originals with the rock band?
No,
we did mostly covers. And then one day I said, Juna, we need to make a YouTube channel. We need to start, you know, posting on YouTube because we had 25 subscribers at the moment. Yeah. And I was like, we got to do something about it. So every week we would post a certain cover of any song, like anybody that was listening to the most popular songs. And we would just like post them on a certain day. And we were seeing a lot of growth. We were like gaining subscribers like crazy. And ever since like TikTok came about, you know, it kind of YouTube just went, you know, so we've been using TikTok lately. So
that's funny because I've actually seen our YouTube subscribers like just not going up drastically, but just like consistently going up. So it's just kind of interesting how social media has changed. And it's also, we don't have a TikTok. So like, I mean, we do, but I don't post anything on it because I just don't have the mindset or the personality. Yep, that's the word I was looking for. Personality to post on TikTok. Like, I feel like you got to be very outgoing and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I could do it on the podcast, but being on TikTok, I don't know.
Yeah,
you could probably post your podcast out.
There's a lot of different stuff on TikTok, like dancing and music and trends and like. It
is a lot to deal with.
There's so much. Yeah. It's so entertaining too. Like I could get lost. I'll just watch a few videos and I will get lost in like the TikTok like black hole for like hours. It's so
I get lost in the Instagram Reels black hole, so I can only imagine how much I'd get lost in TikTok. So
yeah.
It's bananas. So you started uploading like originally it was covers to YouTube and then eventually TikTok. Do you remember kind of that first song that you uploaded that you felt like changed the game for you? And this is probably more opinion based than any actual fact.
I feel like Someone You Loved by Lewis Capaldi. It was our highest viewed video and it was like super popular at the time. It was kind of like out of our genre realm, but we're like, you know what? We're doing like modern country and it's not really country at all, but we're like, you know what? It's popular and like everyone's listening to it right now. So like, you know what? Why not? Like, let's just do something out of the box. Yeah. And we did it and it was like our highest viewed video.
It got like 1.3 million views on YouTube.
Yeah. So I feel like that kind of changed the game, I guess.
Yeah.
Spiked it a little bit.
Yeah. And then you, how often are you still uploading cover videos to TikTok and YouTube, or not really so much anymore?
Yes, we definitely are still uploading covers on YouTube. We kind of had slowed down a little bit because of COVID and we couldn't get into the studio, and then we had to kind of adapt by doing them like at our home studio, and that was a little bit difficult to readjust. But we've been getting back into the studio now, and we've definitely been posting a lot more consistently on YouTube. And as far as TikTok, we do a lot of like short little clips of like covers that people comment and stuff. And we've also been doing a lot more of like trends and stuff to, you know, just get ourselves out there and posting some of our like original music and seeing how people react.
And we'll also post that to Instagram Reels and Twitter and all those other social medias as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's very interesting watching how you guys do, because like when I start promoting each episode, like I'll just kind of post everywhere and just see where everybody kind of or like as far as the artists go, where they migrate to like promote heavily. And you're one of the very few bands that everywhere I posted, you were right behind me, either sharing it, liking it, or whatever. And I'm like, man, why can't every musician be like this? Because usually it's just they're usually very Facebook heavy or Instagram heavy. Not saying that's a bad thing, but like when I posted it on Facebook, you were right there, Instagram, you know, and all that stuff. So it was just like, sweet. That's awesome.
Team of people, and like also us just like making sure that our social media is constantly like updated and like they've got all the new like features and everything. So
it is hard to, you know, come up with content.
Yeah,
it is hard.
And it's like TikTok, I feel like is like a full-time job. Like literally it takes like, sometimes we'll film a TikTok and it'll take like some of like the more production-y ones. Like we just did one that was like a trend. It was like a Celine Dion thing where it was like you start off like all like mellow and you like break out into this whole like ordeal and like this whole like stage set.
Yeah.
And that took us like 3 hours to film. And like just thinking that that's one platform of social media, then you have Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, you have all those other platforms. And then like writing music and doing shows and touring is like, it's so much to think about. I mean, it's crazy.
It's crazy like to think about there was no social media like
back then.
Yeah. So, like, people do.
I know.
It's what like, and the kind of the funny thing is like, I'm definitely very much in on the social media thing, not to turn this into a whole marketing and promotions thing, but like, I'm still very much into the whole social media thing, but kind of reverting back 20 years, like even email right now is just absolutely bananas. Like our email list, we get like 60% open rates on everything that we do. And if you talk to any promotions person, that's like insane. So it's really interesting how just like, even, we're so technologically advanced, but or not technologically advanced, but like, there's so much free publicity out there with social media and whatnot, just kind of taking a step back to like old school advertising tactics. It's still very effective. Oh yeah. That stuff works as well, because not a lot of people are doing it. So you just got the real estate right now to just kind of do what you want to do. You just got to be able to, or willing to put in the work, you know? So, let's kind of transition here a little bit to your most recent single, Till Your Heart Breaks, which was released. The single was released last year, but you just recently released an acoustic video for it about 2 weeks ago. What's the story behind that song?
The story is kind of like about not appreciating a great love that you had until you kind of lost it, and not understanding like the means for a good cry, or not really understanding about how good you had it, or how good someone was for you until your heart breaks. That's
It's one of
kind
those
like,
songs where you take your phone out, put the light on, you get the tissue box. It's one of those.
Get the instead of flicking the lighter, you take the phone out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I guess that's the thing people do now. I still like having the lighter with me and just, doing one of these numbers, but it is what it is. So is this kind of a line of singles that you're doing right now with Till Your Heart Breaks? Are you ultimately looking to do another like full length album? Like,
yeah, we're kind of putting together like a self-titled EP, and we have Something Good to Miss that came out last year. Was that last year?
2 years ago.
Oh my gosh, it feels like yesterday. So we have Something Good to Miss that came out 2 years ago, and then we have Till Your Heart Breaks that just recently came out at the end of last year. And then we have 2 others coming out as well, but we're kind of releasing them like slowly, not all at once. So they're going to ultimately be put together.
Yeah, like every 8 weeks, we're going to release a song. And then we're going to record actually some new songs. I'm recording with a new producer, and eventually, put out some new music.
Together and hopefully put together like a full album.
Gotcha. And, because what was kind of throwing me off was I saw like the volume 1 and 3, but for whatever reason, I couldn't find a volume 2. So is there a volume 2? Like as far as like on Spotify, the albums, you have volume 1 and 3.
Covers.
They're covers? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for some reason it's all messed up. Like I don't know how to get it. like the volume 2, I don't know where it went.
Okay.
No, yeah, we have volume 1, 2, and 3 for like all of our YouTube cover stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
On Spotify and not have to go through YouTube.
I don't want to see volume 2.
But then we have like all of our other songs, like
your original stuff. Yeah, I got you. Completely understood. And so you're hopefully eventually, or you're working towards an album. You said an EP, or would it be an LP?
Hopefully like an album, like a full.
Okay. Gotcha. And then as far as like, since you're kind of actively working on that, what is your creative process when it comes down to like writing and working towards an album?
Well, we have like this hookbook thing that we use. We write certain titles down in it, different ideas, what our mom and dad says, television shows, just a whole bunch of different, brainstorming ideas to, find that, because it's hard to come up with a song and something new, I feel like a lot of songs sound the same. So it's kind of hard to think of something that somebody's never done before, to try to go into different territories. But most of our songs are modern country. And usually when it comes to writing, Juna and I will co-write songs. We'll write songs together, and sometimes we write songs on our own. Just depends. And then we think of the harmonies and come together.
We also do a lot of writes with co-writers like Kaylee Lowe or Bill DeLuigi or Brian White, and we get together in Nashville and like do that, which is really fun. Like I love writing with co-writers because like there's a bunch of different ideas and like fresh, ideas.
And I feel like the more writers, the better, because people have more ideas, more input on different things to make it better.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the one thing that I really like about Nashville in general. And you'll see like other music scenes are starting to pick up like the co-write thing, but I feel like it's such a huge thing in Nashville. Like a lot of musicians that go to Nashville for the first time and they get invited to a co-write or find themselves in one, they just don't know how to kind of work it or navigate it. But I guess that's like the magical thing about Nashville, right? Everybody's there, even though you're like kind of competing against each other. Everybody's there to support one another, which is really cool. So
I actually go to Berkeley in Boston, and I'm taking a songwriting class at the moment. So it's definitely helping me. I'm learning about like unbalanced and balanced lines, about songwriting and what words rhyme together, perfect rhymes, like imperfect rhymes, stuff like that. So it's definitely giving me a boost in writing. So
for sure. And I talked to a lot of musicians that are coming out of Berkeley or went to Berkeley for a year and then like just got the information they needed or whatever classes they wanted to take. And and just kind of having that well-rounded education about writing or like whatever technical aspects you may be missing is actually kind of really cool. So that's cool that you're going to Berkeley. How long are you just going there for certain classes, or are you actually going there to get a degree?
I'm also getting a degree.
Okay.
And I'm also taking like different classes like music theory, guitar class, stuff like that. So different things.
Gotcha. Cool. And so just kind of moving forward, you're working on the album, you're in Nashville recording and writing and doing everything that you can there in Nashville. How has the pandemic kind of affected everything? Because I know in 2019 you had a bunch of steam. You had like the Nickelodeon show that you were doing, and then you had like all this steam built up, and then 2020 hit, and it's just like everybody kind of lost everything. So
yeah, it was definitely difficult, especially for us musicians, like playing gigs and going on tour and even meeting people like in the studio, like I mentioned before. Just, everything definitely changed for the worse. Yeah. But we kind of took that time to like work through like a lot of like the stuff behind the scenes, like our social medias, and build those up like from our house, like. And also we try to consistently like try and record stuff like with the home studio, like how I was talking about. And I would say, yeah, we kind of just took that time to like work on stuff that we would do, but wouldn't normally do with like everything that was going on, like when COVID was really rampant.
Yeah.
And yeah, it kind of sucks because we hadn't seen our band in like months or like a year, and we're like, hey guys, when everything was chill, we were like, what's up? Like, it's good to be back. And then we've been, still playing out some shows and doing that now that we can get out there and play some more stuff.
Yeah, and to pass the time, like during COVID, we decided to do this COVID covers thing. We took a whole bunch of different songs that had to deal with being separated or having to had to do with like COVID and like how like a sad, like just to kind of cope with in that time and like listen to songs and relate to them. So we did like songs like 6 Feet Apart and All of Myself, like songs so that people can relate.
And thank you to thank all the people like in the medical and fire department and everybody.
And that was all just the two of you by yourselves recording everything and producing everything, or did you?
Yes. Oh, well, we actually have like a producer who does our YouTube stuff. We would record everything at our home studio and then send it to him, and he would kind of finalize everything for us, and then we'd film the video and then post them on our YouTube. And they're also on Spotify too as like an album.
Gotcha. Did you guys do any of like the virtual concerts or any of that stuff, or virtual?
Sure we did
actually, yeah, I think we did. We did some virtual stuff, and we also did CRS virtually last year. We did like a little performance like before like the lunch gathering of like all the people, all the DJs, which was really cool because we have some people today and they're like, oh, I saw you on last year's like live stream. We're like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, we were also supposed to go on America's Got Talent, and then COVID actually like just kind of hit, so we decided to not do it.
They stopped flying people out to LA, so we couldn't even get on a plane to go, and it's kind of like sad, but
happens for a reason. Yeah, new doors open, so.
Were you guys going there to like audition on the live show, or had you already made it past that point?
Well, we were going to do like the in-person and on-camera audition.
Okay.
So that's what we were going to do, but then unfortunately it didn't work out.
Yeah, COVID struck at a very interesting time for a lot of musicians. I know down here, like we were getting ready for South by Southwest. South by Southwest canceled. That it threw a crimp in everybody's plans. I had a lot of musician friends that were supposed to be coming over from like England and the UK and that area, and they lost all that money because they didn't have travel insurance or whatever it was. So,
crazy.
Yeah, everybody's like 2020 is going to be the greatest year.
I know, it's crazy. This is like 2 over with like 2020.
And I graduated online. Yay!
That was the saddest part. Like I didn't go through that. I'd been graduated for some years. I'm not going to age myself out like that, but just seeing all these high school seniors and college seniors that have been waiting 4 years, 8 years, whatever it was, and they had to do it online or not at all or whatever. And it's just like, oh, that sucks. Cause I know, yeah.
Just saw Joe's picture on a screen go by. We were like, yay, congratulations.
Yeah. And so you guys are based out of West Palm. Are you born, raised originally from West Palm? Like, or did you move there later on at some point?
Yeah, we were born and raised there, but we just recently bought a house up by Nashville. So we kind of go back and forth between the two.
Gotcha. You know, Nashville, we've said it before, but Nashville's a cool place. So
oh yeah.
I'm looking to move there soon. So I'm saying by November, because that's when my lease is up. So putting it out there in the universe.
Good luck.
So yeah, I heard housing prices are.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are moving here. It's getting crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, housing prices in South Florida aren't much better. Like my dad lives down there, so I'm very well aware of housing prices in South Florida. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. But anyways, just kind of what's your show schedule looking like? I know you like actively playing shows. What does your show schedule look like right now?
Well, we actually have plans to do the Rib Roundup Festival, which is like a local festival in South Florida, which I'm super excited about that. And then we have plans to hopefully go back to the UK in maybe end of May into June, into the summertime. And then maybe get on a tour right after that in September here in the United States. So
tours upon tours.
Yeah, just doing
What's
a lot
not
of
more
traveling.
fun than going on tour?
Well, I mean, some musicians like tours, some musicians don't. So I guess it's all personal preferences. And I guess it's.
I love to explore. I love, you know, just being in England, like the people, the accents, the food, just so many different things to learn, you know?
Yeah.
So when you're out on tour, do you actually have time to like go do stuff? So like if you're in New Mexico, do you have time to go like, you know, just like random places? Do you get to do some of the touristy stuff, or is your schedule always so?
It's usually booked.
Yeah, we usually like wake up, sound check, show, go to sleep early, and then get ready to do the next thing.
Tired. Just
and
get
then
your
drive.
sleep. That's all I'm saying is just.
Maybe if we have a day off or something, we'll go like to the local like touristy spot and check it out. But usually it's really just like schedule like back
it's
to
like
back.
5-hour drive and stuff like that. So.
And what's
the back of our eyelids when we sleep on the bus.
Yeah,
that's our tour.
That's our favorite spot to visit.
Nice. That's fair. I was just kind of curious what your tour life is like, but if it's just back to back to back, you're running and gunning, and maybe you'll have a day off one day. So
yeah.
But you know, just kind of traveling and getting out is really cool. That's like, I get it. I 100% get it. So, and then just kind of outside of music, when you need to take some alone time, get away from each other, or, you know, whatever the situation may call for. What's some of your hobbies? What do you do to kind of decompress?
Well, I love to work out. I'm really into fitness. I love like eating healthy, you know, drinking a lot of water, taking, you know, vitamins, just being healthy, because the music business will run you down. So definitely want to stay healthy, stay hydrated. Another thing, I love to cook, love to eat. I'm a big eater. Yeah. And then I watch YouTube pretty much.
That's fair.
I like playing poker as well.
Yeah, I like to cook as well. I love doing that. And I also love driving because I just recently got my license. So I just love to. And I also just recently got a Ford F-150 for my birthday, which has been like the greatest thing to ever happen to me. So I love driving around town like all day. Just
we'll get home. She sits across. She's like, "Oh my god, my baby! That's your baby."
And I also love to fish. We used to do that a lot. We used to like be close to water, so we'd go and like cast a line, you know. Yeah. So I like doing that when I have time, like with my friends, because that's so fun.
Yeah.
Listen to music, you know, take the nice fresh air in, time outside, you know.
When I go down there, go down to South Florida to visit my dad, I always want us to go offshore and go fishing, like just going out to the jet stream or whatever and just like try and catch some of the big fish. That's always fun and exciting. So
Yeah, we love to do the like rent a boat and like go fishing on it. Like we did that for Joey's most recent birthday. We went and like we caught a bunch of stuff out in Connecticut when we were up there. We were actually doing like a tour up there, but it was like Joey's birthday. So you're like, what can we do while we're in Connecticut?
This
like
is one
in
of
a
our
random
days
state,
off.
like we'd never been here, like so we didn't know what to do.
So
And
one time when I was booked back to back.
yeah, and one time we did this like thing, like it was like you go on the boat and whoever caught the biggest fish like wins money or whatever.
yeah.
I'm not trying to brag, but I was the one who caught the biggest fish.
No.
Did I reel it in? No. But did I get it on my pole? Yes. My dad had to reel it in for me. But it was literally as tall as me.
Which means you didn't catch it. I'm just saying.
I still like to believe that I did.
Boy, if nobody knew you were brother and sister before, they knew right then and there. They found out right then and there.
Yeah, that was it.
That is literally how my sister and I act towards one another. It is amazing.
It was slick.
So, this is kind of a two-parter question. We have a question in the chat. Jojo wants to know, they've never been to Nashville, but what is so cool about Nashville?
So much.
Broadway.
Oh, yeah, Broadway is so nice. Like that one strip of all like the bars and like everything's popping down there. One night we went down there, like I think it was around the summertime, and they had like blocked off the street completely because there was no room on the sidewalk to walk. So people were just in the streets walking back and forth. There was no room. And although we can't really go into the bars at nighttime, I think they like close them at a certain time for like underage.
Well, we can't go at all. I mean,
you can go in the daytime.
18.
In the daytime you can. Like Old Red, and we played there.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying you have to be 21 to.
Yeah, to like participate in bar activity. But we still like to go down there because it's like really fun and meet people and like
Almost there.
meet with musicians and stuff. That's fun. And then I would say just like the people here are so nice and just like the best people.
Mm-hmm.
And they have great restaurants and like a great atmosphere. So I would say there's so much to. And there's like there's a place called The Gulch, where it has like the iconic like wings, like the butterfly wing picture.
Yeah.
That's really nice to do some shopping and like go hang out.
It reminds me of like a New York, but like not
Country
really.
New York.
Like a country New York.
Western.
And not as overwhelming. Not as overwhelming.
It's crowded, but there's still like a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You'll find a whole bunch
and they
of
just
music.
recently put like a huge mall, like of like a bunch of like shops and like renovated everything.
Is it over by the Opry where?
I think it is. I think so. Not really sure. Yeah.
Where I went out to Nashville like just before the pandemic hit, like the January before the pandemic hit, and we went down to we had like a morning off because we went down there to do a bunch of like live acoustic sessions and stuff with a bunch of bands that we had met over the years, and we had like the morning off. It's like, okay, what do we do? I wanted to go to Broadway because I wanted to go to the Blues, BB King's. I wanted to go to BB King's on Broadway. And what's the secret to parking in that area? Because I was not going to pay $25 or whatever it was for an hour.
Well, if you're my dad and you're a crazy New York driver, you make a spot. You gotta make your own spot, whether that's risking getting a ticket or not.
Honestly, I don't even know where you park in Nashville. Like, I can't even think of a parking
just walk
place.
There.
Okay.
Don't park. Don't even take a car. Take a bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, take rollerblades. You'd be better off.
That's very fair. Very fair. Because
it's crazy.
I drove there and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the BB King's. I'm going to just enjoy it for a half hour and I'm good. Except it was going to cost me $25 to park. Yeah. And I'm like, guys, do we really want to spend $25 just to park? Like, we could go get a really nice breakfast instead.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. But yeah, so just to kind of reverse that question a little bit, while you're in Nashville, what's one thing you miss about South Florida or West Palm Beach?
The beach, but we never go.
Honestly, we don't. I feel like people who are from Florida or like in a beach area either go every day or never go at all. I feel like there's no in between. Like you either are there all the time or you go like once in a blue moon or like once every month.
Yeah.
Or you aren't and you go right like once a week or whatever. But I just feel like it's like that for some people. I don't know.
Yeah. We never go to the beach, so
I would say something I miss maybe would be friends and family. A lot of our family's from Florida and also a bunch of our like hometown friends since we've been growing up. So I'd say that, miss them. And also like acai bowls. I love acai bowls so much and they don't have them here. So
really?
I think they just recently opened a place. Oh no, wait, they do have them here. They don't have a ton, but it's like my favorite thing ever. So and they do really well in Florida because it's like Florida. Yeah. You know, I just feel like they would be good in Florida and they are. So
gotcha. Yeah, the few months that I've lived in Florida off and on, at least in South Florida, I've been to the beach maybe once, and it was the waves, the wind was blowing and the waves were really big, so you had like all the surfers out there, and I was just like, okay, let's go check that out because that seems kind of cool. And so
it was honestly like a stressful time. Like going to the beach is not as relaxing as they say it is. No. At least like I feel like the sand gets everywhere and the water is like salty and you just ingest it and then like you get all like in your lungs and
then if the sea turtles just recently laid eggs, you got to be careful of a sea turtle nest and
then the stingrays come up on the shore and you step on shells and
jellyfish.
Yep, jellyfish.
I think the stingrays. Not the stingrays, the jellyfish, and then you get shells in your feet and all that. It's a stressful time. And then you're eating your sandwich and the seagulls are all flying above, like trying to get a bite. Like
yep. Although you got to watch out for them seagulls because they are vicious. They
are ruthless.
Yeah, I had a sandwich one time.
They do
right out of my hand.
They would do anything for a chip or a bite of your freaking public self. They'd do anything.
Yep. I'm yeah. So once again, I do want to thank y'all for taking the time to sit down and chat with me. If anybody wants to check out the new music or anything, any of your upcoming shows or anything else you got going on, where's the best place for them to do that?
You can pretty much find everything through our website, like our social medias, junaandjoey.com, or our @handle for all the social medias, which is Juna, Juna, the letter N, Joey.
Yeah, we also have a bands and sound to know like when we're playing, like where we're playing, what time we're playing. So you can, if you're like, oh, they're playing in Arkansas. Oh, we live in Arkansas. Let's go. So yeah, we also have bands and sound, and we also have a music video for our songs on all platforms. So go check those out. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Before we wrap this up, though, we got to do one last thing. Everybody that comes on the podcast gets one spin of our random question generator.
Oh,
it is a nifty little app that I've recently discovered.
What's it called? I might have to get it.
It's called 21 Questions, except it's a lot more than 21 questions. So,
I gotta think deeply.
Actually, this one's quite funny. Out of the two of you, which one is more likely to get pulled over for speeding?
Definitely me.
She is a pedal to the metal. Literally, like we'll be at a red light. And she goes 70 miles to it. I'm like, Drew, where are you going? Everybody stopped. There's all the headlights. And she's like, I'm like, where are you going?
Okay, well, on the contrary to that, Joey is the slowest driver I have ever seen. When I'm in the car with Joey, I am pressing like my fake gas pedal because he's going so slow. I just can't sit there and talk.
I go the speed limit.
No, he drives so slow. Like he just like sits there and the way he drives, let's not even talk about that. Like this. Like, he doesn't even sit back in his seat. He's like,
I sit back. Trust me, when I work out at the gym, I'm tired. I'm not like going like this. I'm like.
Well, it sounds like Juna's ready to take on the traffic of New York City.
Oh, I'm so ready. Actually, I don't think they're ready for me.
Fair.
They need to be ready because they're gonna be just on chilling, and all of a sudden.
That's fair. Very fair. But once again, I want to thank y'all so very much for hanging out and chatting with me for a little bit. I want to thank everybody for tuned in with us on Twitch. This is a new venture for us. Usually we used to stream on Facebook, but now Twitch. we've heard so many positive things that we made the switch. So if anybody that's been watching hasn't followed us, please give us a follow. We'd really appreciate it. And if anybody wants to hang out with me for a little bit longer after the podcast, I'm going to go jump over into my friend's stream. So I'll be over there if anybody wants to. The link's in the comment thread there. So if you want to come hang out, that's cool. If not, I get it. Juna and Joey, once again, thank you all so much for hanging out. And I can't wait to catch you in Texas or Nashville, catch a show, whatever it is. I'm really excited to see where things go. So
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. All righty. You guys have a good one, and we will talk to you later.
You too.